submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. This video is about Are You Afraid of the Dark? Are You Afraid of the Dark? A classic to kids who enjoyed horror movies, with the original run lasting almost 100 episodes throughout the 90s. This original series was very impactful, with the intro itself being unsettling, getting you prepared for whatever the Midnight Society had in store for this episode's story. For those who are uninitiated, this series revolves around a group of youths gathering in a forest around a fire at midnight to exchange stories of fright. The campfire is the constant framework from episode to episode, but most of the stories are one-shot tales. Before we get too far into both how scary and cheesy the original series was, let's shift into what this video is actually about. The Are You Afraid of the Dark 2019 reboot. More specifically, we're talking about the 3-episode arc consisting of the first season of this reboot that I will be referring to as a whole as the Carnival of Doom arc. Outside of the story of the Carnival of Doom, we get a major focus on the Midnight Society itself, as they are testing a new student to see if they are a good fit for the group. After vetting her knowledge and stances on classic horror discussions, they invite Rachel to the forest, where they basically kidnap her, bringing her to the campfire site, and inform her of the final test, to come back in 24 hours with an original story that will entertain and scare the group. Inspired by a reoccurring nightmare, Rachel comes back with the story of the Carnival of Doom and the mysterious Mr. Top Hat, whose MO is to put on a night of scares for all, kidnap someone, and then wipe everyone's memory of the event. The story does the trick, and Rachel is the newest member of TMS. After this, we see that there is a carnival setting up on the outskirts of town early the next morning, and a classmate of the main crew chases his dog into a tent, not to be seen by his family again. When news breaks of this, the crew becomes very sus of Rachel, and freaked out even more when everyone receives a free ticket to the Carnival of Doom, just like in Rachel's story.
You may call him Mr. Top Hat. Oh, now the real fun begins. No matter how it may seem, it's all part of the
After some conflict resolution within the group, they agree to go to the carnival and look for Adam, the missing kid. This night has its own twists and shocks, which apparently ends well, with Rachel excited for the next day. The next morning is when we find out that one of the crew, Rachel's main flirt interest, is missing, and Rachel instantly knows what happened. The problem is, no one else even remembers there being a carnival, and all just remember going to bed early instead. Rachel is unable to convince the remaining Midnight Society members that they went last night until she remembers that a girl lost her phone for breaking the rules of not filming at the carnival, and she happens to back up her files to the cloud automatically. Retrieving this footage was enough to get the main cast to trust Rachel, and then they go over state borders to the next showing of the Carnival of Doom. In this part, there is a classic triple cross that leads to the whole group being captured as Rachel struggles with her own fears to take on Mr. Top Hat, who we actually get a decent backstory on. Mr. Top Hat came to America to live out his dead father's dreams, and ends up rushing his carnival, costing the lives of both his wife and child, and basically leads him to make a deal with the devil through the form of a magic cane that he can control anyone with.
It's all part of the show.
I won't reveal why, but this power does not work on Rachel, and she is able to surprise the villain by breaking free and stealing his cane. She is given an option to give up the cane for her friends before she realizes the power within the cane. Declining the offer, she instead uses this new magic to save her friends, then resisting the temptation of whatever she could possibly desire, she throws the cane into the conventionally placed fire, breaking the illusion of the carnival and everything disappearing with it. Mr. Top Hat starts to laugh, stating that Rachel will always remember what she is about to see, as he then rapidly ages and turns to dust in front of the kid's eyes. I was impressed by some of the choices in the writing, specifically how they would introduce small things as character building throughout the story to have wonderful payoffs at the end. Just little things that you would expect to be throwaway pieces actually come back to be pretty important. For example would be the Midnight Society pocket knife. You see Rachel's crush within the group with it early on, giving it to Rachel to carve her initial to the seat around the campfire. Then later it is given to Rachel to keep as a sign that she does actually belong within the group. And then it was the catalyst that made the escape possible in the final act. What I noticed most about this arc is the pacing, which did a good job of speeding up when things slowed down to develop the characters, but also when the scares got a little too intense, seeing as this is a teen show, they would throw in just enough charming cheese to ease up the tension, as well as for me it was a nostalgic splash from the original series, which was full of glorious 90s American-Canadian cheese. The budget in this reboot is clearly much higher, with some of the scenes actually looking movie quality. Also greatly improved is the acting. I really enjoyed the crew so much that when I watched the first episode of the 2021 season, I was disappointed to see that it was a whole new cast. In the second season, which aired earlier this year, in addition to the new cast, we also get a new overarching story, The Curse of the Shadow Man. This new season seems even more modern with a higher budget and almost shot like one of those new, edgier Archieverse shows. But from what I saw in this first episode, it still has all it needs to be a good story like the 2019 season. I would like to get to talk about this newest season more, but I had the hardest time trying to find anything past the first episode to stream without paying $2 a pop, so maybe next year. One thing I do find missing in this new series is the unnerving intro that is scary enough on its own to make it hard for kids to sleep at night, like the original one did. But that might just be a me thing. So if you're a fan of the original Are You Afraid of the Dark, or want a horror story that is surprising that is only rated PG, I would say that the 2019 reboot is worth your time. I hope everyone had a safe and spooky October 2021. This is my fourth and final video to celebrate the scary season this year. I have a backlog of content that is filmed and in various states of edited that will be coming out soon, so if you like gaming, Gundams, or getting into general nerdom, subscribe to see what's coming next. As always, feel free to contact me on any of my social media links in the description below, or descend even further into the comment section. Until next time, have a good one.
Pleasant dreams, everyone.